So the question is, in what ways do media products use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? More specifically, we're going to break this down into 3 sections so that we can talk in depth about every single point that we can cover. So firstly is the use of forms and conventions of real media products. And in looking at this question, we looked at how real media products had a sense of mystery and alluded to a story that might not happen. We looked at how other trailers such as Gone Girl and Secret in Their Eyes also did this, and it was through their influence on us that we were able to follow these forms and conventions and look at how we could do the same or similar thing within our own trailer. Not only this, but we also took the white noise from the Secret in Their Eyes trailer.
She wasn't there.
And we also implemented it into our own trailer so that we could have the same sort of effect that we really liked. Due to the fact that our one's kind of like a hybrid genre, it's very niche, we looked at both Gone Girl, which is our case study film, and Secret in Their Eyes, and combined the ideas of both of them to have like a wider understanding of our genre, because being a police crime thriller, there isn't really much like in today's compared to our trailers before, so we just looked at examples that are near to it, and then we just used the conventions for it. Anything else, guys? What'd you say?
For our trailer, we analysing other trailers like Gone Girl and Secret in the Eyes, we saw the eeriness that they had. The Enigma Code wanted the Enigma Code is a convention of a psychological thriller film. So it was to challenge us, to challenge our audience, want them to question who is behind the disappearance of Lily, and
being that our case study was Gone Girl, and with Gone Girl, the fact that the lead female was like the antagonist, she was like the person who was in the negative limelight, that kind of influenced our trailer, because we also used a female who was like an antagonist, so that makes the trailer really entertaining, and it goes against the conventions for when it comes to like roles and characters and all that.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about how it developed, so what we use to develop forms and conventions of all media products. And so once again, with our case study Gone Girl, we thought to develop this storyline in the sense of the impact and the influence that characters could have within our own investigation, within our own trailer. And so our storyline is very complex, so because of Gone Girl's storyline, it leads you to go one way when the actual plot is the other way, so that's how we did. So with Gone Girl, we saw how like the officer in charge was very formal, however we developed the characters that played the officers in charge and created a relationship between Chris and Clara, and I guess that was just it in terms of developing more forms of also with Cheyenne being the chief police and in charge, kind of just developing the idea of more females being in charge and role and stuff. Also in terms of like ethnicity as well.
Yeah.
Since sort of like governments, the people that are at the top of most. Why are you laughing? The people that are at the top of most hierarchical organisations, they tend to be more of white background, and so we challenge conventions in the way that we had a majority black cast. This meant that we was able to challenge these really. We was able to challenge these conventions through through the all-black cast, majority black.
There's Cheyenne, because like it's a police force kind of, so, and Cheyenne's like the chief. You don't really associate that with females being at that high kind of status.
In fact, I was inspired by the music video by Yellow Wolf because it looked really awesome and eerie and suspenseful.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about how we challenged forms and conventions of real media products within our trailer.
Okay, so when we was in the process of editing the soundtrack, we also looked at Gone Girl and Secret in Their Eyes to see how the music had a huge impact on how the audience may have perceived what was happening, or the music may have even given more information onto how the characters was feeling as within the sound that we've created now, the emphasis of a heartbeat shows the rage that Chris was feeling during when they visited neighbours' houses.
Hello, Miss Adams.
We
I'm
also
Chief Police Johnson.
subverted,
We're here
traditional
regarding the
crime
disappearance
thrillers
of Lily
with
Conway.
this sound.
It doesn't have anything to do with
The
child is missing. Chris, do not waste
We
police.
looked at two different types of sounds that could go with police crime thrillers, and so through that was able to look at the different ways we could incorporate sound. Am I doing that one?
I don't know. Do you want to do it? Yes, no?
No, I think I was doing that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that we
There you go,
decided to bring about an interracial couple into it, which is normally subverts some conventions, as it's not normally shown in media products, and the trailers that we looked at in our hybrid genre, it wasn't really shown, so we wanted to kind of give a different perspective, and also the tension that comes with being in an interracial couple and the different conflicts that happen, and yeah, and also we tried to challenge the stereotype of black people being necessarily bad or dangerous, and we made it seem like now Ruby was the one that was to blame for the kidnapping or the...
Not because of me!
Where did you go?
When in normal real media products is seen as the black person or the father would be, how would you say it?
In this case, he's more submissive.
Yeah, so he's the one that really wants to find out what's happened, but then we don't really get much answers in the trailer, and we are drawn to Ruby more because it's weird because now how the roles and the powers have transferred, like transitioned, so it's now Malcolm's the one that's, I don't know how to...
That is perceived to be the murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
But-
also the fact that she's a female. Men are stereotypically
Like
portrayed
in the
as
position,
murderers.
yeah, the criminals, and in this case, it's
And also, something that you can also talk about is the idea of like us using young actors in real media products. You do tend to get people that play the role as if it's their age, but with us, we intentionally made sure that we use young people so that we can kind of show a real representation of our generation, and that kind of links into the whole Stuart Hall and Cohen about like, you know, folktale rules and moral panic, and kind of now how do you do it? How do you explain? Trying to actually show a true representation, as in other real media products there wasn't much to.
Yeah. And we linked to the mental illness thing by showing Ruby, you know, flicking through the mental illness book, which was just adds to her psychotic kind of mentality.
Something that we researched, which isn't shown in the trailer, but Ruby ends up having postpartum psychosis. So she's the person that is responsible for her child's murder, but it was unintentional. But the idea is how we wanted to challenge forms conventions, because normally the mother is fine, is fair, if the person who is the killer or the kidnapper. But we decided to give a reason behind why she does what she does, and it's because it's something that she wasn't unable to control. We looked at people's stories online and how they've dealt with it and the struggles, and then we really wanted to implement that into the trailer. So, yeah.
Not only to challenge our audience for them to think of a mother killing their baby, but also to inform our audience about the
Postpartum.
And it's kind of relevant to like this generation because those kind of cases happen quite a lot. So,
oh yeah, I think what we really wanted to do, which is sort of using and developing convention, was the idea of, to make like the issues that happen in the real world. So the idea of kidnapping, illness, mental health. Mental health is something that's really not spoken about in society today, and people are not really aware of it. And although it's not really shown clearly in our trailer, we do give hints just to show that mental health, self-harm, it is real.
My
and
name
people do
is
suffer
Dr.
from it.
Miranda
And
Cole,
also the issues of kidnapping,
but you can call me
crime,
Miranda.
how sometimes the people that are supposed to
We're
be
here to help you.
helping investigating situations.
What happened to Lily?
They're in the investigation themselves. It's affecting them. There's a crime that has come towards them and their family. So we just wanted to make forms like conventions that are not really shown in media trailers into it, kind of give like a plot twist into it. There's a scene with Ruby looking in the mirror and
and she wasn't there. I just
a bit crazy. She's thinking, and we have flashbacks of like maybe her looking into Cot and the other one of her, and maybe catching the fact that her husband has been cheating on her with the police officer, and then her just going a bit crazy and a bit mental. But we did it very in a subtle way so that the audience can kind of see where her headspace is at, but they don't know really and truly what is happening with her until they actually see the full film.